Well, hello, and welcome to another episode of Lifeline for Daily Living. Yes, this is the place where you can find the answers to your mental health, relationship, and family questions. I'm your host, Jim Hewitt. Glad you've tuned in today. I think you're going to find today's topic very interesting, so I hope you'll stay tuned because we'll be right back. All right. Hey, welcome back to another episode of Lifeline for Daily Living. Glad that you've chosen to come my way this week. Man, you know, Christmas is just right around the corner, isn't it? It just doesn't seem possible. It seems like the older I get, it just seems like the days and weeks go by faster and faster and faster. And the holidays, you know, just from, you know, think back, it was just yesterday, right? That you know, we were getting our kids all dressed up in costumes and going out trick-or-treating, and here it is just a few weeks away from Christmas. How's your shopping going? Have you got those decorations out and getting those ready and getting everything organized? Hope you are. I know we're starting to look at that stuff here at my house, you know, thinking about how we're going to decorate and you know what we're going to be doing for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day and all that stuff going on, all those plans. It just seems like things really kind of get busy and all kind of ramped up during the holidays, doesn't it? Well, the holidays bring enough challenges and enough stress just in and of themselves. I mean, think about it. Just typically, you know, you talk to your friends, talk to your relatives, and they'll tell you, you know, that the holidays are just a stressful time. Well, even more challenging, and I think even more stressful, the holidays become for step families, and that's what I want to talk about in this podcast today. And that is how to handle and how to deal with the holidays if you are a blended family, a step family. Think about it. He has his kids, and I have my kids, and we blend those two families together. Now, whether it's been the blended family is a result of a divorce, or some kind of separation, or maybe there's been a tragic death, of one spouse or the other. Either way, it's his family, her family, me and my family, and we've blended those two families together under the same roof. Now, aside from the holidays, you know, blended family relationships are difficult in and of themselves. You can navigate them, but that doesn't mean it's going to be easy waters, you know, just calm waters all the way through. It's sometimes rather turbulent, and it becomes even more so, I think, during the course of the holidays. Think about it now. Step families, blended families, typically are born out of or birthed out of some kind of loss. Whether it's been a divorce or whether it's been through a death, blended families are born out of a sense of loss. Now, that sense of loss gets heightened during the holidays. Typically, when we start looking right after Halloween, we start looking toward Thanksgiving and now Christmas, and all of that stuff just kind of gets heightened a little bit. So remember now, as we talk about this stuff, that blended families are typically birthed out of some kind of loss. And so when you're dealing with the holidays and talking about the holidays and planning for the holidays, you kind of need to keep that in mind. And so I want to give you some ideas here, just some things for you to think about as you think about your blended family during the course of the holidays. First of all, I would suggest that you let go of any preconceived fantasy of a Brady Bunch kind of holiday. Now, I know that some of you may not even know what the Brady Bunch was, but the Brady Bunch was a family, a show, a TV show back when I was a kid, and it was, you know, his family and her family, and they blended together in the same home. Well, the fantasy is that, you know, whether it was his kids or her kids, you know, they were arguing with each other. There was some kind of big thing going on, big problem, and it was all, you know, solved within a 30-minute segment of that show. and that they were all getting along, and even though they had problems, they would solve those problems, and they would all get along. Well, that's let go of that preconceived fantasy. It's only a fantasy that I think will lead to you being disappointed. I've talked in previous podcasts about the holidays, about those high expectations, that those expectations need to be lowered. Well, the same thing applies here with the blended family. Stop thinking that, again, I'll have to refer to it as the Norman Rockwell kind of Christmas. It's just simply not going to be that way. So first of all, let go. I would suggest that you let go of any preconceived idea of a Brady Bunch kind of family gathering for Christmas. Secondly, is I would encourage you to plan everything. Plan everything. Sit down. It's not too late. It's getting close, but not too late for you to sit down and start thinking about how this holiday thing is going to work. Because typically, the children spend one holiday with the co-parent, the absent parent, if you will, and then one holiday with the present parent. It may be Thanksgiving with mom and her family, and then Christmas with dad and his family, and that's the way everything is kind of organized. Well, you need to be sure to plan things that include that co-parent, that absent parent. Now, if they're not in the kids' lives, I get that. I get that. So, but as much as possible, communicate with them. Hey, we're planning this. Here's what we're planning to do. This is not the time to be rivals. Okay. You want to make this, a difficult, challenging circumstance less stressful and less challenging, if at all possible. And so, when you plan everything down to the T, if you can. Now, I know there's sometimes unexpected things happen. I get that, but as much as possible, include that other parent, and just let me, for sake of discussion, call them the absent parent. You include them in on the plans, and please, do not use your children as information conduits. We'll tell your mom this. We'll tell your dad this. Come on, set that stuff aside for just for the holidays, and communicate as much as you can, as cordially as you can, with your ex-spouse in how to divide up the time and all those plans. Now, there's also, think about the tension. So I want to talk to you a little bit about how to reduce some of that tension. Well, think about being the step parent. Okay, being the step parent, strive for a sense of equality with respect to gift exchange. We sometimes, I have individuals in here, adults in here, who get into gift warfare with the ex-spouse. I'm going to buy a better gift for you than dad will or than mom will, because that shows you how much I love it. Please don't do that. Don't do that. The kids will pick up on that. They're the beneficiaries, and so in some, they kind of like it, but it has a negative effect. Just be equal. Don't buy more stuff or more expensive stuff for your biological children than you do for your stepchildren. Make that all equal as much as you can. Try to avoid overcommitment. I've talked about this before, and I want to reiterate it here. Time. Think about it. Time is expensive, and you only have a certain amount of it. So don't spread yourself too thin during these busy weeks. I mean, things are going to really start getting ramped up now. There's going to be Christmas parties at school. There's going to be company Christmas parties, all this kind of stuff, church stuff going on. Avoid being overcommitted, because when you're overcommitted, you get overstressed, and when you get overstressed, it has that trickle-down effect, and so other people in your family will feel that as well. Next, and this is going to be a difficult one, and that is, as much as you can, try to rise above bad feelings and hostility toward your ex. Now, look, I know. I can almost hear you through the screen here. I know what you're saying. Yeah, but you don't understand what no, look. Can you not just set that aside for the holidays? Just set that aside. If you want to pick all that up after the first of the year, great, fine, wonderful, have at it. It's not going to do you any good. It's not going to do anybody any good. But if that's what you want to do, okay. But for Christmas, just for Christmas, can you rise above all the bad feelings, the hurt feelings? I know you may think that they did you wrong, and they did this and they did that, and they said this and they said that, and there's no look. Set that aside for just a little while. You can pick it back up if you want to, but just for Christmas, rise above that, because that's going to sour everybody. It's going to sour you. It's going to sour your children on Christmas. At least for this period of time, can you not rise above any anger, hurt feelings, hostility that you have for that other person? Then make it a wonderful Christmas. Also, remember that Christmas is a time for peace. Now, I know, we talk about, peace for all mankind. I get that. Peace all over the world, I get that. But there's an internal peace as well, and there's an interpersonal peace as well. Could you for these few weeks, could you and your ex have a truce? Just they used to have Christmas truces on the battlefield. They would call a Christmas truce, and everybody would stop fighting and would pick up the fighting after the holiday. Could you not do that? Just this Christmas, could you do that? The holidays is a time for peace. Not only peace for the world, desire for that, peace and hope, but it's a time for peace within and peace interpersonally. And so for this, could you declare a truce with your ex? Could you just do that? Try real hard. I think you could. I think you can if you give yourself a chance. Now, the next thing that I want to talk to you about is, with regard to blended families, is a mixture of old traditions in the family with new traditions. Now, remember, the families that we came from, we had established traditions. We would do this on Thanksgiving. We would do this for Christmas. We would do this on Christmas Eve. We would do this on Christmas Day. And all of those things have traditions. And traditions are I think, very important. They kind of remind us of who we are as a family. That we do the same thing every year, and it's that time when family's together and we've got all of this, and traditions are very, very, very important. But when you have a blended family, you're bringing in new traditions as well. And eventually those new traditions just kind of blend in with the old. Now, I'm not saying that you should give up your old traditions. I'm not saying that at all. What I am saying is that you can adapt and adopt some new traditions with regard to this blended family. And maybe so there's some things that he and his family did, or she and her family did, that was really kind of fun and kind of interesting. And man, we can just kind of do that instead of insisting on it that it be done only my tradition. How about getting some new traditions as well? What about your kids, as teenagers? It becomes a little bit more difficult for them, I think. You can help them be positive and optimistic about the holiday. Be careful, though, not to go overboard, okay? Because the kids will sense that. You don't want to be overly nice. You don't want to be overly optimistic. You don't want to be overly whatever. They will sense that. But you can help them, because see, it may be that they're spending this is the holiday, this is the Christmas they're spending with you, and they're thinking about that other parent, that they would rather be with them. And so you can kind of help guide them through that. Don't go to war with them. Remember, this is a time for peace. Don't go to war with them. Just help them through that. Help them to express how they feel, that their feeling is very normal and very natural, and I get that. and you'll be able to spend time with your other parent, but not on this particular day. And maybe next year, then we can adjust things. What about that absent parent? Even if the biological parent, the ex, if you will, is not available or is unavailable, then they just don't seem interested in the kids. And I have kids in here who tell me that their absent parent just doesn't seem to really care whether they're with them or not. Help them through that. Remember, blended families are birthed out of loss on both sides. And so you could help them through that. Instead of pushing them, you can help guide them through that and help them express those feelings. Remember, as I've said in other podcasts regarding holidays, the holidays are not happy for everybody. I'm not going to allow you to drag me down. I'm not going to allow that. But I'm going to be sensitive to that this may not be a very happy, wonderful, glorious time for you. And so, you as the parent, you can kind of plan for that. You know that last year, was kind of rough, and so this year may be rough as well. So plan for that. Be sure that you communicate with them, talk to them about that. Sometimes, if we're really honest as adults, we kind of get off doing our own thing during the holidays, and we just kind of leave our children just kind of floating around there. And come on, why don't you get over here and help decorate the Christmas tree? And they're kind of sulking and by themselves. Talk to them about what's going on with them. And even if they say nothing, which is a kid's normal response, right? Nothing. What's the matter? Nothing. Well, how you feeling? I'm feeling okay. Leave me alone. No, kind of navigate through that and help them to understand that their feelings are okay. The feelings are, it's not a bad feeling or a good feeling. Feelings are neither good nor bad. They're just feelings, and I'm here to help guide you through that. The other thing is expect the unexpected. Expect the unexpected. Now, let's say, just for example, that this Christmas the kids are with the other parent. Okay, this is the Christmas that they're with the other parent. Now, all of a sudden, a day or two before Christmas, the other parent comes down with the flu, or they have to go in the hospital for emergency surgery or whatever, and your plans kind of get blown up, okay, because you were figuring on doing this over here because the kids are going to be with the other parent. But now you have to readjust. Be flexible. Expect the unexpected. Have a plan B, in place. That if plan A, they're going to go to the other parent, and then we're going to do this over here, or we're going to take a trip, and the other parent gets sick or something happens and they can't take the kids, what's your plan B? See, so if you plan it back here, then when you get to that, we have a plan B just in case something like this would happen. And so expect the unexpected. Now, I've just kind of given you some ideas as a step parent here. Some of the some of the things that you could do with regard to dealing with step families, those blended families. So let me just kind of wrap things up here just a little bit. Remember that the holidays are survivable. Okay, the holidays are survivable. You'll get through them. You may not think you will, but you can get through them. Many blended families need some extra support, and that's okay. That's fine. They need, if you need some extra support, reach out. Don't try to do this all on your own. If you're getting all stressed out, remember, stress kind of trickles downhill. If you're getting all stressed out, you're not going to be helping yourself or anyone else. So reach out for help. Talk to somebody. Make an appointment. Talk to a therapist. Talk to your minister. Whoever you trust. Reach out and talk to them. Here's the key. This Christmas can be a wonderful Christmas. It doesn't have to be an awful Christmas. If you will kind of look at some of the things that I've talked about today, as far as step families, as far as blended families. If you kind of look at that and try to navigate those waters, I think you and your new family, you and your blended family, can have a very, very, very blessed Christmas, a very happy Christmas, and a very wonderful time together as a blended family. Well, listen, I want to thank you for tuning in to this episode of Lifeline for Daily Living. And if something I've said today has raised some questions, I'd like for you to connect up with me. I'd like to talk to you about that. There's 3 ways that you can contact me. The first way is with my phone number. My office phone is 573-732-4575. You can also contact me through email. My email address is lifelineonline@hotmail.com. Again, lifelineonline@hotmail.com. If you're watching this by Facebook, that's the third way you can contact me, is just private message me. Give me all your contact information. I'll call you, and we can set up an appointment, or we can talk over the phone. However you want to do it, we can connect together and help you to have a wonderful, wonderful Christmas holiday. So I want to thank you for tuning in to this episode of Lifeline for Daily Living, and I'll see you right back here next week on Lifeline for Daily Living.